Right, I understand everyone's got a preference, right? Some people like to date people with children, some people like to date people without, okay? I get it. But I feel when we get to a certain age, can people still have those preferences?
This is something I don't think guys talk about much because it's not always the case that a man's value increases as he gets older. If a man's not putting in the work, it may very well be the case that he has to accept the fact that dating a single mom is going to be the most likely outcome. Anyway, we're gonna get into it, but if you're a returning viewer and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do me a favor and join us on this journey. It really helps out the channel. With my daily begging out of the way, let's get into the mess.
Nobody wants a single mom with multiple baby daddies. Tell it to Jeff Bezos. Why don't you tell it to one of the richest men on the planet? Because Lauren Sanchez got 3 kids, 2 baby daddies, and was a single mother. And one of the richest men on the planet scooped her up, put a big old rock on her hand. 2 baby daddy gang is up right now. 2 baby daddy gang is up right now. And it's crazy because, like, don't some of y'all got stepdaddies? So are you saying that, like, nobody wanted your mom? Like, when you were, like, when it was just you and your mom, and then your mom got, like, a partner, and that's your like, nobody wanted your mom. Like, your mom was, like, damaged goods. Y'all are kind of crazy for saying like that, for real. And, like, don't some of you, like, some of you have step parents and step siblings. So it's like, you guys are talking, like, real out of pocket. Like, that's real crazy. Most of y'all don't even have, first of all, you guys are broke. Most of y'all don't even have daddies. So to be talking about daddies, it's not in your jurisdiction to be talking about.
This doesn't mean anything and doesn't change the fact that a lot of guys don't want to date a woman who has kids, especially if she has kids with multiple men. It's funny that she even pointed out the fact that guys are broke these days. But if that's the case, that's even less of a reason to get with a woman who has children for someone else because you're already short on resources. What we're talking about here is the exception, and you all know how that saying goes.
Don't some of y'all got stepdaddies?
And this is true. A lot of guys out there do have stepdads. And I always say that dating a single mom doesn't mean certain failure, but it comes with risks that not everyone wants to take. Aside from that, just because your parents do something, it doesn't mean it was the right or best thing to do, so you shouldn't always be so quick to follow in their footsteps. At the end of the day, it's preferable for men to invest in their own kids, not kids that belong to another dude. This is just a desire we have, and it's not something that's going to change anytime soon.
I spoke to one guy, we were getting on, chatting, he asked me where I was from, age, like the vibes were there, I thought he was cute. I know that he thought I was cute, evidently. And then I thought, let me just throw in, like, do you have any children? So I asked him, do you have any kids? And he was like, no. He was 36. And I was like, oh, okay, that's okay, fine. Then he asked me, do you have any kids? I was like, yeah, I've got 2. When I tell you guys, the vibe changed. The vibe changed instantly. And I was like, this is why I always say about kids up front. I don't feel any way about it, but I know some people don't like, they don't want someone with kids, and that's fine. But it was just awkward, and I could tell he was like wondering, how do I get out of this? So I just helped him out. I just kind of deaded the conversation and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. But yeah, it just makes me think, if there's any like single parent speed dating or dating mixer events, I feel like I'll prefer to go to that because, yeah, I don't know.
As soon as she mentioned that she had kids, the guy was probably thinking about all the responsibility he'd have to take on. And because he doesn't have kids of his own, it probably wasn't something he was ready for or even wanted. Now, if I'm being fair, he is 36 years old. And depending on the type of guy he is, he might soon start running low on options when it comes to finding a woman who doesn't already have kids. She does talk about this in another video, so let's get into that real quick.
Right, I understand everyone's got a preference, right? Some people like to date people with children, some people like to date people without, okay? I get it. But I feel when we get to a certain age, can people still have those preferences? For example, say men over 35, can they still have a preference to date a woman that doesn't have kids? Because not all, but most 35 plus women might have children, 1 or 2 or 3 children. Like, we've lived life. We might have a marriage behind us, couple relationships, couple baby daddies. Like, it happens. So is it really fair for a guy in his late 30s to expect to find a woman without children? Or should he kind of take what he's given? What do you think?
To be fair, I don't think she's wrong. And as much as guys like to talk about how a man's options only increase with age, that's not the case for most people. If a man's not handling his business and taking care of himself, he'll find it hard to land himself a younger woman when he gets older. So if you don't want this to be you, you better start putting in the work. Realistically, once a guy starts edging into his 40s, how likely is it that he's gonna meet a woman who doesn't have children? Most guys struggle in the dating game as it is, so I don't see how things are going to change for these men as they get older, if they're not making moves in the world.
You guys want to know the real tea on being a single mom? This is the ghetto, okay? The fact that I will always have to prioritize my ex and his relationship with my daughter over certain things in my own life. Crazy. Ghetto, okay? Be careful. Be careful when you're having that baby. Because at the end of the day, I don't care, married, not married, whatever. Be careful when you're having a baby. Because at the end of the day, when you love that baby, you're going to be like, damn, I need to prioritize what's best for you. And sometimes that means what's best for the relationship with their dad. It's crazy. It's crazy out here being an adult and being like, my daughter and my family is my priority. And like, sometimes that means that man that I don't like. It's crazy out here.
Unlike a lot of women who live in the crazy world of TikTok, this woman's being pretty damn real about what it means to be a single mom and sacrifices she has to make. The first thing she said about having to prioritize her ex is something guys need to be paying attention to, because this is the kind of thing that'll come at your expense. When a woman has a child for a man, it permanently ties them together, which can sometimes mean hell for the new person who walks into a situation like that. But of course, that's not always the case. Because of all the drama that can come with being a single mom, she's right in saying that women should be careful about the dude they choose to pop out kids for. When people don't think about their future and the decisions they're making in the present, it can really make life harder than it needs to be. So why give yourself extra work when you don't have to?
So I was supposed to go on a date tonight, but here I am, cozy in my bed, which is great. I'd rather be here than with someone's crusty ass son. But basically, so I told my son, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna go on a date tonight, just so you know. And he's like, oh, mom, like, I thought you were done with dating. You've had these bad experiences. Like, he's like, it's too risky. And I was like, gotta get back out there. I was wrong, okay? So I start chatting with this guy. We're texting for a couple days. He seems super nice. He texted me last night to confirm and was like, I'll message you tomorrow to confirm the spot and the time to take you on a date that you very much deserve. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. Like, yes, I do deserve this. Right after that, he sends me a link to a guy playing guitar, like lying flat down, like kind of like a piano. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. My son plays guitar like that. After that, crickets, silence. So today I don't hear from him all day and I'm like, hey, obviously something's up. I go on Hinge and he unmatched me. And I'm just thinking like, that's embarrassing. You're 36 years old. You could have just been like, hey, sorry, I didn't realize you had a kid. It's not something I'm interested in. No, you're just gonna ghost and unmatch me. I didn't bother to get ready because I knew something was up. But imagine being a single mom, getting ready, getting excited, and waiting, and this guy just ghosted. But honestly, he did me a favor because I have my book, I'm cozy in my bed, I'm gonna watch a little show. Me and Shay ordered pizza, hung out. I'd much rather be here. But yeah.
This story is along the same lines as what the woman in the second video experienced after letting a guy know she had a kid. But unlike the first woman, she really didn't like the fact that she was blown off, and even referred to the guy as someone's crusty son. She tried to make it seem like the whole thing didn't bother her, but if that was really the case, she wouldn't be sitting here making a whole video about it. What's also kind of alarming about this video is that her son seems to be fully aware of her dating patterns. So what, and who has he been exposed to while she was trying to put herself out there and back on the market? If you're a single parent and you still want to be in the dating game, you should be doing your best to conceal all this from your kid, at least until you're certain about someone. Kids shouldn't see people coming and going like their house is some kind of conveyor belt. The woman in the second video said that she'd rather be upfront about the fact that she has a kid, so no one has their time wasted. In this woman's case, though, it seems like she'd rather keep that fact hidden, and it only came out due to a slip of the tongue. I could be wrong about that, though, because it might just be her way of letting a guy know what's up. Now, while it'd be better for people to just be open and honest about how they feel about things, the sad fact is, ghosting is the easiest option, and it's something that men and women do to each other. Anyway, that's just about all for today, but if you've got something to say, you know what to do. The comments section is always open.